Hey guys and welcome. Today I'll be talking you through the storyline of Destiny 2 Lightfall. Ultimately, Destiny 2 has been around for just over a decade now, and if you're not up to date with what's going on currently or haven't been around for the last couple of DLC packs and seasons, Lightfall can seem quite intimidating. However, in this video, whilst explaining the story for the more OG players, I'll also be summarising as much as possible for the newer players to get some context around some of the characters, why they're the way they are, and other things like that, and the situation we find ourselves in. It would be greatly appreciated if you guys could leave a like on today's video, subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel as well, or a returning viewer for more content coming like this one. But let's dive straight in. At the end of one of the final seasons of the Witch Queen DLC, the Traveller had risen from the Earth and went into space. Eramis was utilising Rasputin's warsats under the direct jurisdiction of the Witness in order to try and destroy the Traveller. However, Anabray disconnects Rasputin's power, which powered down the warsats, preventing his plan from taking place. Despite failing to destroy the Traveller there and then, it wasn't the end. The Witness was already en route to the Traveller's location. Typically, the Traveller would move and travel between different worlds, offering the light to those inhabiting that place and helping the ones that need it, terraforming those worlds and more. However, it stayed to face the Witness head on, to face a conflict that's been going on for long before we were around. The Witness's pyramids were en route, and this is where Lightfall kicks off. Destiny 2 Lightfall starts off with the Vanguard battling in space. The Traveller stood still in front of the Earth, as we're doing all we can to fight back against the threat of the Witness. One of the pyramids though suddenly lets off an EMP blast, impacting our personal ghosts, but also sending the fleet of ships crashing down. However, just as it did, the Traveller retaliated to this blast, sending a blast straight into the pyramid, of which where the Witness was situated. However, it was almost like the Witness was waiting for this moment. It slowly levitates off the ground and makes its way slowly toward the Traveller. However, in the corner of the Witness's eye, it spots Amanda Holliday and a set of the Guardians approaching in their ships, trying to take out the Witness if possible. However, the Witness was too strong and manipulates the ships and also one of the ghosts within, breaking them into pieces and sending them crashing down into the surface of the Earth. Another pyramid lets off an EMP blast, almost building up the blast that the Traveller was sending toward the Witness, and then letting out one huge wave directly towards the Vanguard situated within the helm. The Witness approaches the Traveller, moving through the wreckages of the ships that he'd just destroyed. He reached out his hand and almost looks within the Traveller. Here, the Witness was able to see what must do next, and where he must send his disciple, Callus. Between all of the planets, all of the places that we've searched before, everywhere the Witness had potentially travelled to and came from, it highlights one place in particular towards the very end, a planet of Neptune, the location of something called the Veil. Immediately, the Witness calls to Callus. He orders him to immediately move his fleet all the way to Neptune and search for the Veil. We, as Guardians, must follow Callus to Neptune and find the Veil before he does. We jump out of our ship and onto Callus's, and just as he's about to enter slip space, grab hold of the ship, open a vent, and make our way inside. During our progression throughout the ship, we hear communications from Callus himself around his plans, ordering his fleet forward and straight onto Neptune's surface. His fleet, called Shadow Legion, are one step ahead of us at this point. We need to do something to try and slow them down. Osiris recommends that we do damage to one of the fleets to try and buy us some time. Maybe we can disable the ship's main computer, the one that we're on currently, so that's exactly what we go and do. However, Osiris didn't sound very convincing when talking about his escape plan. The ship was falling out of orbit fast due to us destroying and disabling the main computer system, and Osiris wanted us to take one of the ship's drop pods directly down to the surface of Neptune. So that's exactly what we did. We land on the surface of Neptune, and There's a city here? This was a huge shock to us, our ghost, and Osiris, as we've always thought that the Vanguard and the humans on Earth were the last ones left after the collapse.
This is Neptune? There's a whole city here. An entire civilization.
Suddenly though, we receive a radio from someone named Rohan. Rohan asks who we are and if we're with the invaders, and when we respond that we're Guardians, here fighting the same enemy, we receive a response.
Lightbearers.
We advise that we're here to look for something called the Veil, however they're pretty preoccupied at the moment dealing with Calus' Shadow Legion troops, so we need to move and find Osiris, who landed somewhere in the city. We battle our way through, however before we find Osiris, we find a new source of power. This power is called Strand. As we look inside one of the pieces that were just miraculously placed inside the city through our path, we're given this new ability. We're able to use it and wield it for a short amount of time, however eventually it leaves us, makes us extremely weak. Nothing that we've ever wielded before. Osiris' drop pod was being approached by the Shadow Legion, however suddenly, two members of the city of Neomuna come and clear them out.
Welcome to Neomuna. Nimba. On your face. Hey, I had that one.
Osiris was freed by the Cloud Striders, and Osiris was adamant that we need to get to the Veil immediately. However, Rohan responds to this, stating that he knows more than anyone what's at stake here, and not everyone has lives to spare. This was in retaliation to the Lightbearers in terms of the Guardians with the Traveller and things like that, because obviously they can be revived with their ghosts, whereas the Cloud Striders don't have this same opportunity or luxury. We need to meet the Cloud Striders at their main hub, 1 to introduce ourselves, and 2 to formulate a plan to fight back against Calus. However, we have big problems. We move to Calus' flagship, where we can see the Disciple being transported to his new throne.
At last, my semblance matches my inner beauty. And what beauty!
However, his fun didn't last too long. The witness came, asking for a progress update on the Veil, stating that the final shape awaits, the Veil being the next step in the plan. However, Calus seemed to have basked in the glories of being a disciple of the witness and enjoying possessing this power a little too much, almost coming across as quite arrogant towards the witness. The witness eventually leaves Calus and he moves towards his throne and takes in a deep breath of relief almost. Back on Neptune, we catch up with Nimbus. He's the rookie Cloud Strider here on Neomuna, and the Cloud Striders have kept the city of Neomuna safe for generations. Here's a bit of brief background on the Cloud Striders for those that are new to the series that want to learn a bit more about them. So the Cloud Striders are Neomuna citizens who have volunteered to undergo a process to enhance themselves with nanotechnology, granting them enhanced strength and agility, and increasing their height, making them taller than even Empress Keitel. Additionally, this nanotechnology affords the Cloud Striders powerful weapons, including a combat silver surfboard-like device that both allow the Cloud Striders to quickly move about Neomuna and also can be used as a shield, as well as a transforming gun powerful enough to strike through one of the walls of the pyramids. However, these augmentations have huge drawbacks. In addition to a shortened lifespan of only 10 years, only 2 Cloud Striders can exist at any given time. Commonly, these Cloud Striders pairs consists of an older one and a younger one. In this scenario, Rohan being the older one with the more experience, and then Nimbus being the rookie, with the younger one of course. However, we have a job to do still, protecting the Veil. This is imperative to the people of Neomuna, and we have to do it now. So we catch up with Osiris to see how he's holding up, and he states that his vision here was true. He's had visions in the past of there being people outside of Earth, potentially, that have escaped during the collapse, and that these were people called the Ishtar. Nobody thought that people had escaped, let alone come to Neptune and built an entire city, so this was quite a surprise for people. We need to get a move on and try and find the Veil's location. However, we find that Callus and the Witness have kind of pre-planned of the Guardians and their interception, and created these things called paracausal disruptors. This drains all of the powers of the Ghost and the Guardian, anyone that wields light to be honest, and can't be destroyed by light powers either, or conventional weapons. Osiris is looking into these in the background and how we can destroy them, but for the meantime we just have to push on. However, when we got there, it looked a bit too late. Shadow Legion and Callus have the Veil's location secured. However, our Ghost, it states that it doesn't feel right. Much worse than before. Then suddenly, a projection of Callus seems to show in front of us, very much like what the Witness was seen in, around Callus, the broken glass. And it was almost like the Ghost is looking at Callus from the Witness perspective. It was here that we learned the Veil itself hasn't actually been captured or secured, but the area around it has. The Veil itself is entombed deep below Neomuna, and Callus will find a way to break in and link the relay. The Witness instructs to Callus to link the radial mast and the Veil together in order to begin the final shape. We need to tell Osiris and Nimbus as to what the Witness and Callus are planning, and that it involves the radial mast. When we speak to Nimbus about this, he tells us and informs us of something called the Cloud Arc. This is the local network that was ingrained within Neomuna, and if it's down, everyone is completely screwed. This system has everybody's consciousness uploaded to it, and it controls everyone's consciousness, basically within the city itself. So if that's down, then just no one is going to be able to be conscious at all. We need to reset the Cloud Arc, just literally turn it off and then turn it back on again, but obviously instantly rebooting it and getting it back up to running to 100% operational. However, the problem with this is deep within Vex territory. Our Ghost, however, picks up on the tremendous power output of the Cloud Arc when we get down there. Earth was decades away from technology like this even back in the Golden Age. However, it needs all of this juice just because of the power that this thing actually feeds out. For example, it powers the entirety of Neomuna, the city's defences, and also the Veil's defences. We finally managed to restart the Cloud Arc, and now service is up to 100%. Whilst we were out restarting the Cloud Arc, Osiris was doing more studies and finding out more information on this energy type, Strand. Osiris explains that how for years we thought that light and dark were antagonists, but it doesn't seem that way at all right now, especially after finding Strand. If they're not opposites, then what are they? The Traveller ultimately is a terraformer, right? A generator of natural life. The domain of light is the domain of the physical. However, the darkness is revealed in many different facets. Dreams and nightmares, emotions, pain, memories. Strand even further confirms this thinking that darkness and light are completely different entities. Strand conjoins conscious realities, connecting to them, which is how, for example, you're able to grapple from anywhere and not just onto a surface, because Strand grapples and latches onto another conscious reality, allowing you to swing between them. Nimbus then speaks up and states that all of this sounds very similar to something called the River of Souls, found in Neptune. There's a story that's told to many kids across Neptune of a raging river. In this story, some try to revert the river, others try to build a dam. but nothing can seem to change the river's path. You can rather sink in the water, or you can try to swim. See, we on Neptune are the river. We can learn our path in the world, our mission, our destiny, and fight for it through hard work and dedication. Or we can sink and fail without even trying. That is Strand in a nutshell. However, we must learn it. We must really put effort into trying to figure out how Strand works, how to wield it, how to control it, and we must do this through hard work and dedication, and that will come later on in the playthrough. However, until our Guardian learns of that, he will never be able to properly wield Strand. So that's the blocker in the way. Callus has the surrounding area of the Vale locked down, and if compromised, Neomuna will fall, and then the Soul will follow after. Rohan and Nimbus are with us to fight back, so we push on. However, Callus has captured something called the Radial Mast. This device will be used to forge the connection between the Vale, activating it, resulting in the Witness winning and taking us on to that next phase that the Witness was talking about. Rohan opens a way into the ship for us, and we follow him through, and there is the Radial Mast. The Radial Mast is activating, and to buy us some time, Rohan climbs into it in order to try and slow it down. However, even after trying to destroy it, we weren't able to wield the Strand for long enough.
Give me some time to expose its weak point. When I give you the signal, use your strand. Now's the time! Lightbearer! Destroy it now!
We can't.
Then I have no choice. Nimbus, see you on the other side. Rohan, what are you doing?
Rohan.
He chose a Cloud Strider's end. Hey, Guardian, can you please pick up his core? I'll need it.
Okay, Nimbus.
The death of Rohan was awful, however it was needed at the time for the good of Neomuna and the Soul. The Witness once again enters Callus's ship and asks for an update on the situation. Callus mentions there have been some complications and that their hold over the Vale has been temporarily loosened. Callus's one biggest fear is failure, and the Witness knows this firsthand. Maybe one of the reasons why he took him on as a disciple, so that he could manipulate him to getting things done. So the Witness almost mocks Callus and tries to get a reaction out of him, to get him to do all he can to secure the Vale, and to give him that kick in the arse and motivation to push on forward and do everything he can. However, Callus bites back a little bit too far and a little bit too hard, almost mocking the Witness, telling him that he's got all of this power and all he thinks to do with it is
Secure the Veil. We will create the link. Infinite apologies. The Veil is yours. It will be done.
We speak with Nimbus around the defences of Neomuna. There just aren't any right now. They've all gone offline for some reason, so we need to reinstate them and find out why they've gone offline. It was here that we learned that Callus is looking to attempt a new and different approach to try and gain access to the Vale, targeting the Cloud Ark directly, which is one, why the defence systems are offline, and two, if they destroy the Cloud Ark, then the city, the defences and the Cloud Striders are all out of operation. However, it could also be because the Cloud Ark is powered by the Vale, right? they're on the same network. So there could be a backdoor or a gateway somewhere into the Veil on that network. This is what the Shadow Legion are trying to manipulate and what they're going into the Vex network to try and figure out. However, as we make our way into the Vex network to kill this backdoor, we hear a voice. An unknown voice.
Finally.
What was that?
Such a fragile space. This will do.
As we complete our task here, the voice happens again, but this time it tells us his name, Nezarak.
This prison in between. It will shatter. But I need power. I am pain. I am terror. I am Nezarak.
Nezarak is a disciple of an unknown origin that previously followed the Witness. For those that didn't know, hopefully we'll get more information on him as we continue on through the seasons of Lightfall. However, we regroup with Osiris, Keitel, and Nimbus. Here we're told the defences are now back up to 80%, which is more than adequate enough to fight back against the Shadow Legion. However, we're not in a position right now to go straight for Callus. We need to master Strand. Strand is the one thing that the Witness and Callus wouldn't have been able to take into account because they wouldn't have known it existed. So we go off to learn that, Keitel will ready her fleet, and Nimbus will make sure the defences are in operation.
When we think about controlling something powerful, it's easy to assume it takes strength. Determination. A force of will. But what I've learned is that we cannot control every facet of nature. Instead of tightening our grip, we must open our palms, accepting the ebb and the flow. Letting go in the face of grief in all its shapes. Through failure, through loss, we can overcome the impossible.
Everything is ready. Everything is in place. We must stop Callus from establishing a link between the Veil and the Traveller. We make our way down into the Veil containment facility, and there it is.
That must be the Veil. It's massive. I feel a little strange. Don't know how to describe it. It almost gives me the same feeling as the Traveler. That doesn't make any sense, does it? Let's press on.
The Veil and the Traveller have a link that we don't really understand just yet, and it even makes our ghost feel strange. I'm very interested to see what this link is. Down here is generations of unfound technology, such as in one of the rooms, a Cloud Ark prototype that was built in the early days of finding the Veil, and these humans coming to Neptune. However, it wasn't long before we started to hear of the problems above us. Quite literally hear them.
I'm reading major shockwaves in the vault. The Emperor's smashing through that place.
Hurry, Guardian. He'll get there before you.
Callus had found us, and Callus was coming for us. He got past Kaisel's defences and was literally stomping above us, smashing his way through doorways and smashing his way through walls in order to get to the Veil and in order to succeed for the Witness. This ultimately shows us that the Witness was correct. Callus will do anything that he can to try and win and to stay in the good books. So he literally goes in himself to capture the Veil.
I've been waiting for this day a long time, Guardian.
We defeat Callus eventually. Kaito confirms it even. And it looks to be all over. Until...
Running away. Rest now. The uglier they are, the harder they fall, right? No? Come on.
We finally found you.
Get your ghost!
What's wrong, Osiris?
Get your ghost out of there!
Finality takes shape.
It's creating the link! Destroy it!
What just happened?
We just lost.
Zavala, come in.
Throughout the story, the Witness has been able to essentially control our ghosts. How, we don't know, but it must be something to do with him having some connection with the Traveller from the start of the game, and even up until now.
The universe makes us all victim and perpetrator. That's infinite cruelty. You, more than any, suffer both fates. Be free.
The final form was initiated by the Witness, and the Traveller, well, it's in the hands of the Witness now. But guys, that is all for today. That is the story of Destiny 2 Lightfall, and I'm all for it. I loved every minute of it. I really enjoyed Destiny nevertheless, and I love these expansions and just wish that games like Halo would follow in the footsteps here. But there's so much other lore, so much other story content to bring, but this is just the main DLC or expansion of Lightfall. There's a couple of other bits and challenges and side quests and stuff that I didn't include into this video, but really they weren't massively necessary in order to understand what happened in this expansion. So let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, everyone. If you've played Lightfall, are you going to jump into Destiny because of this, or are you not going to bother jumping into Destiny because of this? If you guys did make it this far, leave down below Lightfall in the comments, just so I can see who has made it this far And yeah, we can go from there. But I really appreciate it, everyone. Leave a like if you did enjoy today's video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below on Lightfall. Subscribe if you guys are brand new as well. And we'll see everyone next time.